Hello, this is Nick Cooper, and this is my curriculum design and assessment mind map for Stamford American International School of Singapore. This is a English as an additional language, composition and literature class for 7th through 10th grade students. So let's start. This is the mind map that I've created, and using Graves, I went through all the categories and every single subcategory, and I wrote my beliefs and balancing it with the needs of the stakeholders, the requirements of the parents and the school, looking at what I could discover of the curriculum at SAIS, and trying to balance it with my beliefs about education and learning. So this is what I've come up with, and I do need to say that at times I felt that the act of doing the mind map was, I think you say, the tail wagging the dog, but it did give me an opportunity to see what the difference between set and system was, and how I have all this material that I can bring into class, all these great activities, but and that being the set, unless I balance it with the system, then a lot of times the activities in the classroom are just activities, and they don't serve to fulfill the needs of the stakeholders, and it's not an aid in acquisition. So the mind map did give me an opportunity to explore where the differences, I guess, or maybe not the differences, but well, let's maybe it'll come out as I go. So here we go. At the very center of my mind map, you'll see that I have the I, thou, and it. Learner as teacher, teacher as learner. And this is, I've discovered that this is at the very core of my belief system about education, my role in the classroom, my dialogue with students, and dialogue with the content of the class. So it's at the center of this mind map because it's integral, I think, to creating this class. And then you'll see I have the I, thou, it, the teacher, the student, the content, or the subject, and then the context, encircling all of it. SAIS, Stamford American International School, English as an additional language in Singapore. So let's zoom out a little bit, and you'll see right away I'm going into the 4 skills. 7th grade international population, content-based syllabus. So going through Graves and looking at all the different syllabi, topic theme syllabi, and socio-political, all the socio-linguistic, socio-cultural syllabi. Ultimately, this is a high school class. It is a content-based syllabus. So let's see. Why don't we start? It is a writing and reading class. It's literature and composition. So let's start with literature. And here you'll see that we're a circle. Let's back up. You'll see that there's the inner circle, followed by a larger circle, and then another circle, and then a larger circle. So at the center is the core belief, followed by the population that's in the classroom, myself and the students, and the context, and then the 4 skills, and now we get into set and process. So let's zoom in over here to reading. Zoom. So here we go. If you're hearing heavy breathing in the background, it's my coonhound. He's pretty excited about me sitting on the couch. So it's a literature and composition class. So here's literature. Here are the 3 books that I've chosen for the class: Persepolis, Night, and Lord of the Flies. I think that these are perfect books for 7th through 10th grade. Persepolis is this is memoir. Night is historical, and Lord of the Flies is fiction. So I think this satisfies the needs for the class without being too burdensome. I do have Under the Banner of Heaven, John Krakauer, which is falls under journalistic writing. But I think 3 books at this point is a good number of books, and I can add if necessary later. So these are the books we're reading. There's going to be shared reading in the classroom, so this is students reading out loud, the teacher reading out loud. This, of course, connects later on with listening and speaking. Critical reading. This is all process. Critical reading. Teaching the students what to read, what to look for, supplying them with guiding questions, having them annotate and have dialogue with the text. That's all process. Teaching critical reading. Let's go down here. There we go. Process. So still in this middle circle, talking about process and set. So here's the composition. I really enjoy reflective writing. I love the students having a discussion with themselves about where are they in regards to reading the literature. Are they hating it? Are they loving it? What are they finding difficult? I like the act of reflective writing. I think if I can get them to engage with their learning, then that's something that they can carry away with them and continue with the rest of their life. Annotations. This is huge. I teach annotations and giving them starting with like little emoticons, little symbols that they can use to have discourse with the novel. Parts that they understand, that they don't understand, what are they enjoying, what words do they not understand, and then a dialogue journal. This is a dialogue journal that I plan on doing a similar dialogue journal like Steve Iams or Susan Bardoon's class, where it's Google Drive and it's students talking about their experience of the class, their learning, and another student reading and responding. I think there's a lot of meat there, a lot of merit to the dialogue journal. I think it teaches students how to learn, and it's a chance for them to reflect on the process of learning. And it's something that I want them to continue with in my class and outside of my class into university. I think it just makes them better students. Free writing. I've done 10-minute free writing, stream of consciousness writing in classrooms, and by the end of a year there's sometimes about 36 hours of them writing. I believe strongly in the act of writing, the process of writing. I think that once second language students or additional language students, once they disengage with their fear about spelling things correctly or grammatically correct language, or is the punctuation right, or am I supposed to be writing this? Once there's a focus on just the act of writing, I have seen this change students from fearful, academically fearful students into liberated students. And I start the year off by telling them about Jack Kerouac. Jack Kerouac said in an interview that everything you write is genius. And so I tell them that. I said with the free writing activity, everything you write is perfect. And it's about trusting the process of writing. And then usually with the free writing, this becomes a speaking and listening exercise connected later on. And then there's the personal reflection again. And this is all connected to my belief about ZPD, the Zone of Proximal Development, Vygotsky, with the dialogue journal, with the annotations which we share, with the free writing that we share, with the personal reflections that we share in class. This is students learning from more knowledgeable others, or learning from their peers and advancing their own education, giving them authority and power over their own education. So here we go, continuing with process. Here's my teacher beliefs. This is a theme that I want to run throughout the class. This is a third culture kid, or cultural marginal self-identity. This is for myself, teaching myself in the class, and the population that I'll be working with will also be third culture students, or marginal students, or global nomad, or whatever we're being called this year. These are students who may have a father from America and a mother from Indonesia, and they're speaking a language. Well, they wouldn't have a father from America, but students that are speaking a language in school different than their own. They're cultural marginal students, and there's a lot of loss of identity in claiming that cultural heritage. So with the reading and the writing, the choice of books is all designed for us to look for self in the writing and in the reading. Who am I as a cultural being? So that's something that I want to carry through, and I think that falls under the sociocultural subcategory in Graves. So here we go. Let's continue. We've done reading, writing. Now we're moving into the listening process. Turn taking. This is students learning turn taking. It doesn't seem that hard on the surface maybe, but I think that this is a skill to teach. This is later on connected to turn taking in speaking. Acts of discourse. The act of engaging in discourse. This is something that can be taught and something that can be learned. How do I engage as a listener? What does it mean to listen? This is something that they have to carry into their later years in high school and later into university. So how do I engage in discourse? Shared reading again. This is listening. And then active listening. I loved learning some of the tools in active listening from group dynamics, and I want to carry that into my future classrooms. And this really, I feel, empowers you as an academic, as a learner, feeling that this is a skill. There's a lot of self-empowerment there, and I want to transmit that to my students. So we're still in process, we're still in set, the inner circle here of set. This is speaking. Roundtable. This is roundtable discussion. We're sitting in a circle talking about the literature, or talking about what we're writing, talking about the essay, talking about our annotations, and this is connected to turn-taking, acts of discourse, and the language of discourse. What language do we need? What vocabulary do we need in order to engage in discourse about literature or about the essay? The speaking and the listening, of course, are connected. That's why there's all these arrows. Turn-taking. What does it mean to engage in turn-taking when I'm speaking? Then again, ZPD. Students can learn from each other. Here's my belief in here. So now let's move out of. We've covered the inner. These are how do you say, circles of. I just blanked. Concentric circles of experience. So the classroom, the school. Now we're getting into the 4 skills, the larger class, the larger meaning. Now into set and process and the teacher beliefs. The set is what we are doing in class. These are the things that we are doing. What of the students. Now we're getting into the system, and zoom out. Now we're getting into the system. This is product. What are the students producing? What are they showing the stakeholders that they're doing? And here the stakeholders are the parents, of course, the international school, SAIS, and the students. Students are stakeholders. I feel that the more students believe that it's their education, that they are a stakeholder, that they are experts in their education, the more they're willing to put into the process of their learning. But this is ultimately product and system. So let's look at listening. These I've tied as much as I can to the process, the system, and the set. I've tried to tie these together. So there's the reflective process, or reflective practice rather. This is connected to the active listening and to the shared reading. Students learn by listening in the target language. Students must be able to respond to spoken English. That's actually from the curriculum, the SAIS, the curriculum that I've been able to see so far. One of the statements that they make is students must be able to respond to spoken English, and I just thought how very literal, but easy for me not to write down or to forget. Think it's like a throwaway statement, so I purposely put it in here. Since this is something that the stakeholders have gone to the trouble of actually writing down, I thought it was kind of important to put in here. Let's move up to speaking. You'll see that I don't have very much up here. I think this, if this were maybe a different class, if it wasn't just a literature composition class, I might have more about the product of speaking. Students must be able to express their beliefs and their ideas. I think that this is important, to express their beliefs and their disbeliefs, their ideas, their questions. Students need to be able to express these ideas. I think this is tied to my beliefs, but at the same time that this satisfies one of the needs of the stakeholders. Now let's zoom over to reading. These are some of the books that they have to have read. They have to have these types of literature read, and I've tied these together with the books that I've chosen. The stakeholders, of course, having to do TOEFL, having to matriculate to university, they have to be able to acquire lots of new vocabulary, lots of new academic vocabulary. And I am a big proponent of finding that vocabulary through reading, not the act of memorizing, but reading, exposure to it in its book form. I think students learn best vocabulary that way. And that's connected to TOEFL and their matriculation to American, or not just American University, it's IB school, but to university. These products are connected to writing and the composition. This is lit-crit meta-language, the language used to talk about literature. They need to have this in order to matriculate to university, in order to pass the TOEFL. This is new vocabulary, so it satisfies both of these two skills. Multi-genre writing. I can easily put this over here, over into the product, or the process, but the product is all of the essays that we're going to write. There's 5 different requirements for essays, and I didn't put them here, so bad student. But it's explanatory essay, thematic essay, narrative essay. I think the exploratory essay is akin to, I think we're calling, I have it written down, exploratory essay. I think that's connected to a reflective essay, which is right here, reflective writing. So I'm going to do the multi-genre writing. I think that's Cummings. I got really attracted to the idea of having students focus on one theme and writing several different essays or poems or about it. This is a comp class, so it's going to be essay writing, and I teach the essay. So there's the product for writing. Here's the stakeholders again. Okay, so the zoom out. So again, these are concentric circles of experience, and I thought that was a good way to express this. Okay, there's my 7th through 10th grade content-based syllabus. Thanks for taking this little journey with me, and I hope now that I can upload it.